Right now, you're holding a small piece of copper. Maybe it's in a jar, buried in a drawer, or even mixed in with loose change on the counter. But what if that tiny, unassuming coin was actually worth a life-changing fortune? What if it could be the key to your dreams, of financial freedom, of living the life you've always wanted? Today, we're about to dive into a rare and elusive penny, one that, on the surface, might look like any other. But this coin could be worth up to $1.5 million. Sound too good to be true? Stick around, because you might be sitting on your ticket to wealth. Now, before you start emptying your piggy banks, let's get into exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to know if you have one, and what you can do if you're the lucky one to find it. But fair warning, this one's a heart racer, because the secrets behind this 1964 Lincoln penny will leave you double-checking every coin you've ever touched. So, what makes this coin so special? This isn't just any penny from 1964. This is a penny that lacks a mint mark, making it one of the rarest coins from that era. But let's backtrack a bit, because it all began in a time of serious change for American coins. And no, I don't mean pocket change. 1964 was a year of turbulent change in the United States, both politically and economically. While the Beatles were taking over the airwaves, America was quietly producing pennies that would become legends. But in all the excitement, a few extremely rare, mint-markless pennies slipped through the cracks at the Philadelphia Mint. And that little mistake? Well, it's a dream come true for collectors today. Now, here's where things get really interesting. See, most coins from the Philadelphia Mint back then were stamped with a mint mark, usually a tiny D or an S. But a select few, so rare they could be counted on one hand, were missed. No mint mark, no label. To the untrained eye, these look like any other penny. But to a collector? This missing mint mark is like finding a hidden treasure. But you might be wondering, what makes a penny, worth just a cent on the surface, worth up to $1.5 million? Well, think about it this way. Imagine an artist accidentally signed their name on the back of a famous painting instead of the front. Now that artwork would be one of a kind. And just like that painting, this penny is unique beyond measure. Now, here's where it hits home. Imagine waking up one morning, going about your routine, and realizing that you have this rare coin. Suddenly, life could change in an instant. No more sleepless nights over finances, no more what-ifs holding you back. That dream house, the debt-free life, those vacations, all within reach, just because of a single penny that most people would overlook. But how do you know if your 1964 penny is the penny? And if you have one, what steps do you take next to ensure you get the full value out of it? Let's break it down, step by step, so that no potential fortune slips through your fingers. Alright, here's where it gets practical, and where you're going to want to pay very close attention. Step 1. Dig out any 1964 pennies you can find. Look at them closely. The distinguishing factor here is the missing mint mark. No D, no S, just a smooth, blank space where it should be. If you spot that, don't celebrate just yet, there's more to verify. Next, authenticity is key. You'll want to get your penny authenticated by a reputable grading service. These organizations have the tools, the experience, and the credibility to certify your penny's uniqueness. And let's face it, you'll need that certification to fetch top dollar. Sure, you might be tempted to tell your friends and family immediately, but trust me, keep that excitement in check until you know for sure. After all, we're talking life-changing money here, not just bragging rights. Finally, once you've verified your penny's authenticity, it's time to sell. There are a few paths. You could go to auction, approach a private collector, or use specialized online marketplaces. But remember, timing and presentation matter. An auction may drive up the price if multiple collectors are vying for this rare find, but for private sales, make sure you're negotiating from a position of strength. So, could you be the one holding a $1.5 million penny? The answer might be closer than you think. If you have any 1964 pennies lying around, don't just toss them into a coin jar. Check them. Every day that penny sits unnoticed could mean a fortune slipping through your hands. Imagine the possibilities, the house, the financial freedom, the chance to give your family the life they deserve, all because you had the foresight to dig a little deeper. So here's my challenge to you: take a closer look at your change, check those coins, and be ready to act. Who knows? Your path to $1 million future might be right in the palm of your hand. A penny sitting in your pocket. Old, unremarkable, right? Now imagine that penny could be worth $1.6 million. Yes, you heard me right. There's a 1967 Abraham Lincoln penny out there, and collectors are scrambling for it. What if you have one just like it in your home? Stick around, because today, we'll break down why this unassuming coin has such shocking value and how you can know if your old pennies might be your ticket to a millionaire lifestyle. So, what makes a 1967 penny so special? Let's paint the picture. The year was marked by a coin shortage. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck millions of pennies, but many of these coins didn't have a mint mark, which usually signifies the minting location. Now, while most of these 1967 pennies are just worth their face value, a very select few, flawlessly minted and untouched, are rare treasures hidden in plain sight. If you've ever tucked away old coins or have an old jar lying around, now's the time to check. Think about it. One penny could change your entire financial life. But here's the catch: not every 1967 penny is worth millions. In fact, most aren't. So what makes this particular coin so incredibly valuable? Pause, we'll get to that, but first, let's talk about how these coins get graded. Imagine the excitement of finding out a penny in your collection is pristine enough to make the cut. That's where the key lies: condition. You see, coin collectors, or numismatists, as they're known, obsess over a coin's appearance. A gem, condition 1967 penny can easily fetch thousands, but only a mint state, or uncirculated penny could hit that $1.6 million mark. Now, you might be thinking, wait, what exactly is mint state? Imagine finding a coin that looks as though it's never been touched since the day it was minted. Not a single scratch, not a hint of wear. It's shiny, sharp, and absolutely flawless. It's the holy grail for collectors. And to find a 1967 penny like this, that's almost like finding a diamond in a pile of rocks. At this point, you might be digging through drawers, searching old jars, even asking your family members if they have any old pennies lying around. But before we get ahead of ourselves, here's a fun twist. Did you know that sometimes, just a small defect or a unique marking can make coins even more valuable? In rare cases, imperfections can skyrocket a coin's worth. Talk about life's ironies, right? We aim for perfection, but sometimes it's the quirks that pay big bucks. Speaking of quirks, let's be honest. How many of us have even thought about pennies in the last month? They're that 1 cent we brush off, maybe even ignore. But here's the funny part: somewhere, someone's holding on to a penny they think is worthless, and it could actually be worth more than a high-end car. Alright, so we've talked about the perfect condition, unique imperfections, and what makes a 1967 penny so valuable. But let's dive into the million-dollar question. How can you know if your penny could be the one worth $1.6 million? Because it's not enough to just find a 1967 penny. There are specific factors you'll want to look for. Now, if you're serious about this, about potentially transforming a penny into a small fortune, there are a few concrete steps to take. First, if you find a 1967 penny in good condition, handle it carefully. Any scratch, fingerprint, or even a drop can reduce its value drastically. Store it in a protective sleeve or case to avoid any damage. Next, check for unique characteristics. There's no mint mark on the Philadelphia coins from that year, but keep an eye out for any odd details. If your coin looks unusual, it's worth having it appraised by a professional. And don't just stop at one opinion. Go to a couple of coin experts if you can. You might even find out that what looks like a tiny detail could set your penny apart as the one collectors are dying to get their hands on. And here's the final step, which might be the hardest part: don't rush to sell it. Rarity is on your side, and the value of these coins only goes up over time as more and more are lost or damaged. Who knows? Your penny's worth $1.6 million now, but in a decade, it could be worth even more. So now that you know the story behind this legendary 1967 penny, think about it. What if you're just one discovery away from a whole new life? What if this seemingly ordinary coin could be the catalyst to your millionaire dreams? You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Go ahead, check those pockets, dig through those drawers, and find out if your penny might just be the one that takes you from everyday living to extraordinary wealth. You're holding a seemingly ordinary penny from your pocket change. It's a simple coin, dated 1978 with a tiny D below the year. But what if I told you this very penny, yes, the 1978 D mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, could be worth not 100, not 1,000, but over $1 million? You heard that right. Today, we're diving into the hidden world of rare coins, uncovering the secrets behind the astonishingly valuable 1978 D Lincoln penny. Now, before you roll your eyes and toss that penny aside, ask yourself, are you sitting on a hidden fortune? Or better yet, would you pass up the chance to pocket over $1 million just because you didn't take a closer look at your spare change? Let's talk about how, with a little knowledge and some patience, this humble coin could unlock the key to a lifestyle many dream of. Now, I know what you're thinking. What makes any penny worth more than, well, a penny? In this video, we'll not only explore why but also uncover the specific details that make the 1978 D Mint Lincoln penny so special. So stay with me because this journey is about to get interesting. In the world of rare coin collecting, the key factors that determine a coin's value are its rarity, demand, and unique characteristics. You might be surprised to know that among all the coins minted over the years, only a tiny fraction possess the combination of quirks, errors, or limited availability that collectors hunt for. And the 1978 D Lincoln penny? Well, it falls into that elite category for reasons that may shock you. Let's talk about what makes this penny so desirable. For one, it's the tiny D mark stamped below the date. That little mark tells us it was minted in Denver, one of the less common locations compared to Philadelphia. Then, there's the unique quality of the metal and any subtle variations in design. The kind of unique details that coin collectors absolutely love. But here's the twist. Not every 1978 D penny qualifies for that $1 million price tag. In fact, you'll need to examine every millimeter of that coin to see if yours is the diamond in the rough. Now, if you're rummaging through your couch cushions already, hold on. We're about to dive into how you can recognize the true gems from the, well, other scents. But what exactly should you be looking for? Let's get into that, because these aren't your everyday pennies from heaven. They're rarer, much rarer. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you could miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime. There are a few key elements that make the 1978 D penny a potential treasure. First, its overall condition is crucial. Coins in mint or nearly mint condition can fetch incredible prices, while a scratched or worn coin may not. In the rare case that you have an untouched or uncirculated coin, you could be looking at some serious value. Also, pay close attention to any visible flaws or variations. That's right, errors or misprints in the design can turn a standard coin into a collector's holy grail. Imagine discovering that you've had this rare penny in your possession all these years, only to realize later that it could have secured you $1 million. You might even feel a pang of regret thinking, what if I missed that one detail that could have changed everything? But don't worry. I'll show you exactly what to look for so you don't end up making that costly mistake. Because up next, we're diving into the expert methods collectors use to spot a valuable 1978 D Lincoln penny. Don't go anywhere. These tips could make all the difference. Now that you know what to look for, what's next? If you find that your penny has the telltale signs, rare features, pristine condition, maybe even a unique error, it's time to take action. First, get it appraised by a professional coin grader. These experts will confirm the authenticity and estimate its true market value. Don't underestimate the power of an official appraisal, as it could multiply the value tenfold. Ever thought of yourself as an overnight millionaire? Because with the right penny, you might just be. With more collectors investing in rare coins each year, the value of pennies like the 1978 D will only go up. Selling to the right buyer, whether at an auction or to a private collector, could be your ticket to a wealthier future. And with every day that passes, the market could shift, creating an opportunity for you to cash in big time, or let it slip away. You've sold your rare 1978 penny, and now you're able to live the life you've always wanted. Whether that's funding a dream retirement, traveling the world, or investing in new ventures, this one penny could be the start of a whole new chapter. Isn't it worth taking a moment to see if you have that treasure right within reach? So, grab that penny jar and start looking, because you never know which coin might be your golden ticket to $1 million lifestyle. Imagine this: a single penny tucked away in an old drawer. One you'd almost toss aside without a second thought. But here's the kicker: this isn't just any penny. This is a 1979 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that collectors are willing to pay up to $1.3 million to own. Yes, you heard that right, 1 cent could make you a millionaire. Are you sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? And let's be real here, how many of us actually check our spare change? Probably about as often as we win the lottery, right? But this penny, this is like winning the jackpot in your own pocket. But what exactly makes this coin worth millions? And could you, right now, have a small piece of history just waiting to make you wealthy? First, let's dive into why this 1979 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is so rare. Usually, coins are stamped with a mint mark to show where they were produced, whether it's Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But here's the twist: pennies from Philadelphia were typically minted without a mark, making the lack of a mark on its own nothing special. But, in 1979, a very limited number of these pennies were produced in near-perfect condition. And in the coin world, pristine condition is everything. Think about it. A penny most people would overlook becomes a collector's dream because of that pristine quality. But it's not just the condition, it's the story, the history. The fewer perfect examples that exist, the higher the demand, and the higher the value. Now, let's not get crazy and go dumping our coin jars all over the floor, not yet, anyway. But the truth is, every penny has potential, and it only takes one lucky find to change everything. It's no secret that collectors are willing to pay more than a pretty penny to get their hands on coins like this. The 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny is valuable because it's one of the rarest of its kind. Only a handful of these flawless coins have surfaced over the years. And with collectors always on the hunt, the demand just keeps rising. So, you might be wondering, how do you know if your old coins could be worth millions? Here's a step-by-step guide that could help you discover if your penny collection holds a hidden fortune. First, look for any coins dated 1979, especially those in incredible condition. This particular year could be your golden ticket, even though it's a penny, quite literally. Now, here's where things get interesting. What if I told you there's a way to check if your penny is the real deal without needing any fancy equipment? Just you, your coin, and a little knowledge that most people don't have. But here's the catch: these coins are getting rarer every single day. As more collectors snap them up, the prices are skyrocketing. If you have one of these pennies, the time to act is now. Imagine selling a 1-cent coin for hundreds of thousands, even millions. This isn't just a maybe. It's happening right now in the world of coin collectors, and the window is closing fast. So, what's your next move? Are you going to let this opportunity slip by? Or are you ready to roll up your sleeves and search for your hidden treasure? Go ahead, check those jars, look through those drawers. You never know where your wealth might be hiding, ready to give you the life of your dreams. And when you find it, remember, you didn't just find a penny. You found a piece of history that could change your future. Imagine you're sitting on a small fortune, tucked away in an old jar of forgotten pennies. Among these dusty, everyday coins might be one that's worth not just a few dollars, but a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1985 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could change your life forever. But here's the twist: not every 1985 penny has that golden ticket. So, how can you tell if you've got $1 million treasure hiding in plain sight? And more importantly, how can you cash it in for the lifestyle you deserve? Stick around, because by the end of this video, You'll know exactly what to look for and the next steps to take if you've struck penny gold. Let's dive into the world of rare coins, surprising millionaires, and the secrets hiding in your pocket change. Trust me, you won't want to miss a second. The year was 1985. The Reagan years were in full swing, the economy was booming, and in the midst of it all, millions of these 1-cent coins were minted at the Denver Mint, stamped with that unmistakable D. Back then, a penny was just a penny. Little did anyone know that one of these ordinary coins would go on to hold extraordinary value. Why? Because sometimes, due to small minting errors or imperfections, certain coins gain value. And sometimes they become the rarest of the rare, turning into collectors' dreams. And that's where you come in. Have you ever thought, how could something so tiny be worth so much? Well, it's not about size. It's about rarity, demand, and a dash of pure luck. Honestly, it's like finding out that your grandma's ugly antique vase is worth more than your car. Funny how the smallest things end up changing lives, isn't it? But before we get ahead of ourselves, there's a catch. Just because it says 1985D doesn't mean it's a jackpot. The real secret lies in the details, and we're about to reveal exactly what sets this penny apart. Alright, so here's the part that's got every coin enthusiast on the edge of their seat. When it comes to the 1985D Lincoln penny, the clues are all in the design. To the untrained eye, this coin might look like any other penny. But look closely, there are subtle details that only a few possess. Some of these rare pennies show what's known as a double die error, a minting mistake that gives the coin a unique, doubled image on certain areas of the penny, often on Liberty or Lincoln's eye. Yes, it's that specific. And yes, it's worth looking for. This tiny, almost invisible difference is what turns a 1-cent piece into a $1.4 million masterpiece. Imagine how it would feel to spot that tiny flaw, knowing you've just discovered your ticket to financial freedom. And if you're thinking, wait, I need a magnifying glass to find this. Yep, that's right. Hey, no one said finding treasure was easy, right? But isn't it worth it if you're holding $1 million? Now, you might be wondering, if I actually have this rare penny, who's going to pay me that much for it? Well, here's where the big players come in. The collectors, the auctions, and the serious buyers who can't resist a piece of history. So, you've found a penny with the telltale markings. What's next? This is where things get really exciting, and I'm talking auction houses, bidding wars, and collectors with deep pockets ready to pay a premium for your find. Imagine walking into an auction room, or even just submitting your coin to an online collector, and watching as bids climb higher and higher. All for a penny that's been sitting in your jar for decades. Suddenly, your luck's turned, and that little piece of copper becomes your ticket to a life of possibilities. But here's the thing. The market for rare coins is fiercely competitive, and the demand for the rare 1985D penny is no exception. Serious collectors and investors are constantly on the hunt, which means your opportunity may not last forever. If you have one of these pennies, the time to act is now. What's better? Another few years in the jar, or a shot at $1.40 million? Alright, so now you know. You know the story, the signs, and the stakes. If you've got an old stash of coins lying around, it's time to go treasure hunting. Because there's no better moment than now to take control of your financial future and cash in on what could be a life-changing discovery. So, dig out those jars, check those pennies, and remember, the rare 1985D mint mark penny could be your hidden treasure. And if you're lucky enough to find one, don't sit on it. Get it evaluated, find your buyer, and make it count. Who would have thought that a penny, the simplest coin, could open the door to a wealthy lifestyle? And all it takes is a keen eye, a bit of luck, and a willingness to dream big.